like you to hit the like button at the beginning because every time you hit the like button, you are letting YouTube know that what you are seeing and hearing is edifying for you so it can be shared with others. That's why hitting the like button is so important. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel.
It had to happen. Your title was so powerful. When I read the name of your ministry, it had to happen.
Let's welcome our host, Erica Wilson.
Great day, everyone. We're here live today with your girl, Erica Wilson, that it had to happen. Listen, for our Wednesday show. But somehow, I don't know how we got started early. It was saying showtime, and then I had to go ahead and start the show. So now what I have to do is wait for my amazing guest to come on, guys. Please do forgive us for the inconvenience. I'm not sure the mix-up on StreamYard. However, since you're in, I just want to say hello, and please do bear with us till my guests get in the room. So I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on break, and I'll be back at 6 o'clock. Thank you for your patience.
Would like you to hit the like button at the beginning because every time you hit the like button, you are letting YouTube know that what you are seeing and hearing is edifying for you so it can be shared with others. That's why hitting the like button is so important. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel.
It had to happen. Your title is so powerful. When I read the name of your ministry, it had to happen.
Let's welcome our host, Erica Wilson.
Great day, great day, great day, everyone. We're here live today with the girl Erica Wilson that it had to happen for our winning Wednesday. Thank you guys for tuning in here with us on tonight. Our topic is Perform to Perfection Part 2. We have a two-timer on tonight, guys. And again, whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just starting out, we're here to help you take your skills to the next level. So let me go ahead and introduce to some and present to others the two-timer Carlos Collins. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, what's going on, you
Can
guys? Yeah, I can hear you. I can
I
see you
don't know
again.
what I don't know what happened. The show started early, and
Hey,
I just yeah, it was already in motion. So, hey, but it's okay. We have you here now. And I just told the audience that you are our two-timer. You came back for more. I see you rocking It Had to Happen t-shirt. Thank
yeah,
you so
y'all
much.
doing it. Y'all doing it.
I really appreciate it. But if some are new on the show, go ahead and tell them a little bit about who is Carlos Collins.
Well, I'm a former student athlete that had a little bit of success on all levels. Um, Once I retired from the game of football, decided to, I guess, do my calling, which is give back to the community and young students, younger student athletes to help them through the process and make it as I don't want to say as easy as possible, but less stressful as possible in order to for them to accomplish their dreams. So I've been doing that since 2012. We've had over probably 500, 600 young, um, over a couple $100 million in scholarships. So we got, we've been blessed. We've changed the world a bit and make sure everybody has a chance to be in the shoes I was in and the process. We have guys that are now graduating from college. We got a lot of graduating from college that are now successful entrepreneurs, college coaches, teachers, and mentors like myself. So I think we did a pretty good job of leading the way, and we're gonna continue to do it as long as the service allows me to.
Awesome. I don't know what's happening, but we having a little bit of technical difficulties here. You're like cutting in and out really bad. Not sure what's going on, but can you hear me perfect?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, yeah, we're having a bad connection here, but let's see if we could go ahead and get through the show. I love to hear you say that you guys gave out a couple of $1 million scholarships. That's amazing. Also, let's go back to you because I don't think that we started with our Like Have to Start It last show. Now, you say you had a
Mhm.
little bit of success, right? I want you to take me all the way back from when, as a little boy, did you ever even dream? What was your dream and your aspirations as a young man, as a young boy, before you became a man?
So when I first played sports, I was pretty much trying to be like my father. My father was a sport athlete, and I did the same thing. We did pretty much like, um, actually my first love of sports was basketball, and I did that in middle school, high school. But then as I got older and I was a little bit more successful in football, I figured football was my meal ticket to go to school for free. Because my ultimate goal from the time I was younger is to go to college for free. I didn't want my parents paying for college. And I graduated, not having to pay for college. So I took the leverage of basketball and ways of seeing what was going to get my school paid for at the highest level. I took football, and that's pretty much the path I took up until, like I said, from the game of football, and now I'm just, like I said, still involved in the game a
Yeah.
whole lot, but I'm just doing it on a different avenue, or a different platform.
Awesome. I don't know. We're having some very bad connection here. Like every word you're saying, every other word is kind of muffled. Is the Wi-Fi in your area where you're sitting at? Is it okay? Because you're cutting out very bad. You can hear me?
Is it my connection?
Yeah, it's a bad connection. Let's try it again. So, guys, we're sitting here tonight with the Carlos Collins. He is a two-timer, guys. He's back here with Perform to Perfection Part 2. Can you hear me? Guys, we're having some technical difficulty. Please do bear with us. Listen, I know he has some very valuable information for someone that's in the sports arena or around it. I had him here before, and he had some very, very great information that he shared with us last time, and that's why I invited him back. However, he was having a little bit of technical difficulty, so let's see if we could get him back in the studio and see if we could be able to hear him. Please do bear with us. Let's go ahead really quick and go to a commercial. How about that? All right, that was Midnight Trucking Express, my son's trucking business. Thank you all for tuning in here with us. On tonight, we do have Mr. Carlos back in the building. Okay, let's see. Oh, we can't see you. Oh, there you go. Can you hear me? Carlos, can you hear me? You're on mute. I'm so sorry, guys, about the technical difficulties. Please, please do charge it to our head and not our hearts. Can you hear me? Don't think you can hear me. Can you hear me? Hold on, guys. Please do bear with us. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. All right. We left off. You're still pausing. I'm not sure if it's like the area that you're in because you're freezing.
Oh.
Guys, as you can see, I don't know if you can see the shirt, but he is rocking a It Had to Happen t-shirt, y'all. So can you hear me now, Carlos? I'm so sorry, but you guys are staying with us. Thank you so much through this. We're trying to get his computer to work it. I'm not sure if it's the Wi-Fi where you're sitting at. It's a little off, but you're kind of like moving. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. Now it sounds better. All right. So let's jump back into it. You said you gave away a couple of $1 million scholarships, which is amazing, right? And you spoke about as a child that you kind of went behind dad, which is so awesome. And they kind of took me back a little bit, Carlos, because my son was telling me about the reason why he didn't name his son a junior, because he didn't want his son to follow in his footsteps. He wanted to be his choice. So was it your choice to follow dad, or was it dad's choice to say, okay, follow in my footsteps?
No, it was my choice because from the time I was probably 4 or 5 years old, I've always walked around with a football. I was always walking around with a football in my hand, basketball in my hand, anything. Every time I was with my uncles, my grandparents, there was always a ball in their house, and I was always the one to pick up and run around and go outside and do that stuff. So he told me, he's like, I mean, you don't want to play ball, that's fine. But I want to play ball because that's all that's all I knew, that's all I was around.
Right.
And that was just me.
Wow. Well, as we can see that he said he had a little success behind the guys. So take us to, okay, because I love to walk through the different levels, right? So you
Mhm.
know you have, I don't know what it was called back then, but when my kids played, it was called Little League.
Yeah.
Now, I mean Optimus football. I'm sorry. That's what it was. Optimus football. So what was it called back then for you?
So where I grew up at, because I grew up in Cincinnati, it was just pretty much the little youth little league football.
Okay,
That was
so
it.
started out there. Take us back there. What position did you start out at, and then by the time you were entering high school, did you switch or did you stay the same? Two
So I
parts.
wanted to be a running back because like one of my idols when I grew up was Tony Dorsett because I used to watch the Cowboys and I always seen number 33 running up down the field, getting in the end zone, and we just I was just trying to be a running back. So when I started off playing flag. I didn't even start playing tackle, so I started playing flag, and like our flag team was all named after NFL teams. I don't know how I still remember this, but I played with the Packers. That was my first team I played with was the Packers. Um, but I played running back, and I was always the fastest dude on the team. So they just gave me the ball and said, "Hey, run around the end, run up the middle, just do what you do." And I did that all the way up until I was in middle school. When I get to middle school, they didn't have no quarterback, but they knew I was an athlete. So they was like, "Hey, Los, I need you to play quarterback." It's like play quarterback. So pretty much like they do now with the running quarterback with the RPOs, and that's pretty much what I did in middle school. I threw the ball probably 1 or 2 times a game. That was it. Other than that, I was pretty much a third running back in the backfield, just going up and down the field. So
Wow.
then, once I got to high school, it was all strictly running back because that's the position I pretty much wanted to play. And I went to a prestigiously known high school, you know,
Mhm.
and they wanted me to come in and play running back. So I played running back, and it led me to college. And then once I got to college, I played running back my first 2 years. And I tell anybody the story. I played running back my first 2 years, and then they recruited another running back my junior year. And they told me at the beginning of the season or in the summertime, you're gonna have to split time with the freshman running back. I was like, for what? I've been starting in and out my first 2 years. Well, as everybody knows, when it comes to recruiting, you gotta give some special treatment to a high recruit. So they was like, hey, if you sign with us, we'll get you some playing time your freshman year. So that kind of like ticked me off because I ain't put in the work and I was considered a vet. So I messed around and just said that I don't want to split time. So I just want to switch over to DB. So I ended up playing DB my last 2 years at UK. And I ended up liking DB better than running back anyway, because I go from getting hit a whole lot to hitting people, which, longevity wise, it was a little bit better, but that's it. That's.
Wait, so you went to UK?
Yeah, I went to University of Kentucky.
Okay, all right. Well, all right. So you say you started out as a running back, and yeah, running back takes some real hits, especially
Especially, especially-
especially going up that middle. So
yeah.
hey, but being though that you did the switch from a running back to DB, God, how was that for you?
It was easy. And the reason I say it was easy because when you're on offense, for me playing running back and playing a little bit of quarterback when I was growing up, my job was to learn the defenses, learn the
Yeah,
schemes, the coverages,
yeah.
everything that the offense need to know in order to get an advantage with the defense. So when I went to defense, it was like, okay, I understand what the offense is trying to do. I'm just doing it backwards. So it was easy for me for the transition because I already knew coverages. I knew formations. I knew tendencies. I knew calls. I knew everything. Only thing that I didn't have when I went to DB was technique. But I was so athletic because when I played basketball, like I mentioned earlier, my first sport, I was considered a defensive stopper because I took it personal. I want to shut down their best shooter. So
Oh,
I took that mentality when I played DB. It's like, okay, it's a similar because you want to shut down their best receiver, but you had to add in different stuff as far as, schemes and coverages and stuff like that. But it was easy for me to when I made the transition. I just had to learn, like I said, how the coverages work, how the coach is supposed to be played, and certain techniques that you need to do as a DB in order to not get burned all the time.
Well, I'll tell you what. Don't you be coming after my receivers, because you know I love my receivers.
Yeah, hey man, hey,
Well, so now we went all the way from little league up into middle school to high school, and then entering college. Right?
mhm,
We
yeah,
all know at high school you're good,
yeah,
right? College maybe great. Going up into I'm sorry, hold on. Um, High school, you're good. Going up to college, everybody there is good.
yeah,
Everybody's great. You
yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
So now you're coming in there, you're just like, okay, well, I know I have my spot, basically, because I know what I can do. But we all know, like you said, sometimes it's favoritism thrown in there because of guess what? The newcomers. So
Yeah.
if you're a vet on the team and you have some fresh meat coming inside, how is that for you guys as a player to see like, man, this rookie just what they call him in college? Is it rookie still?
Nah, I mean, some of them call 'em rookie, some call 'em fresh. I mean, freshmen. You
Okay, so the
know.
fresh come in and take your spot. Like, how what is that like for you guys? What goes through your head?
So he really didn't take my spot, but me looking back at the situation, I was being selfish because they wanted to run a two-back system, and I was gonna be the one back, and he's gonna get some playing time. The funny thing is, I did the same thing when I came in as a freshman because I didn't get redshirted my freshman year. I played as a freshman too, so I was pretty much spending time with the older guys too. And like I said, when they made that decision, I was like, man, I'm not going. I already did it once, and I was like, I don't really want to do that again. So to me, looking now, like I said, now I look back at it, it was kind of selfish because they want to put a two tandem back in the backfield to create more firepower in the backfield. Well, I didn't see it. I didn't see it like that when it first happened. I seen it as like, man, they trying to, you know, let this dude, young dude, come in and take my job. I didn't put in all these years and hours, blood, sweat, and tears. He ain't never been practice with us. He ain't been to, early morning workouts. He ain't did nothing. He just showed up on campus. All of a sudden, he's going. But then once, I understood how the game was working, as
Yeah,
far as not he want to say favoritism, but how the game working when it comes to recruiting and getting players in, you know, is part of business. It's business part of playing sports because they're not going to stop recruiting. They always going to recruit your position. They always going to recruit in order to set themselves up for when you leave.
yeah,
Because if you see it now with college sports, some of these teams that was powerhouses last year right now taking a little bit of hit because they're replacing 20, 25 players, either going to the draft or they graduated, whatever. And you
mhm,
can tell the dip that they had, which nowadays as a coach and a team, you can't do that. You can't afford to do that, especially if you're playing in a big conference like the SEC,
right.
ACC, Big Ten. So you got to figure out a way to stay on top. Um, so
Wow.
that's, yeah.
So if you had a kid that were to come through P2P, right? If
Mhm.
you was to have a kid to come through P2P and was experiencing something like this, how would you mentor him or coach him into saying, okay, because you made the mistake, you say you were selfish, you know that
Yeah.
now, but you didn't know that then. So it had to happen to you, but now you
Um,
got this player coming through. How would you encourage that player doing, if that's something that he was experiencing?
So it's kind of funny because I've had some players like in that situation. And when I talk to them about, I said, okay, go sit down with the coach, figure out what the game plan is. Once you get the game plan, don't let them take your spot. Go out and do what you do to solidify your spot. Because if you continue to produce over and over and over again and exceedingly produce, they ain't got no choice to keep let you playing. Because if you're one of the reasons why they're winning, and you're one of the reasons why the team is still gelling and rolling like it's meant to, they can't afford to take you out. Because if you have a new guy come in who doesn't know the system, who's blowing assignments and is getting y'all to lose games, that's gonna fall back on the coach. It's not gonna fall back on you. So I tell my guys, man, just continue to work hard, do extra as much as possible, but you know, do what you're supposed to do in order to maintain your spot. Because at the end of the day, again, if you're producing and the other guy's not producing, you're gonna maintain your spot. And then when they don't tell that person, you're just not ready. So
Mm,
yeah. But
wow.
I didn't see it like that when I was playing. I just seen it like, man, this dude's coming in. But again, that's why I tell my guys, everything y'all go through or going through, I've been through it. So I'm trying to give y'all tidbits and advice on how to make it work fit for you. Now, if you go through a situation where it just is, they go all about replacing you, I recommend anybody find another position you can play it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow. See, but that's the thing though. We all know that the kids nowadays, they think we don't know anything.
yeah,
Be honest now. And sometimes you go to them and you're like, okay, this is what I went through. You understand? So this is why I'm trying to show you how to get. Some kids definitely will listen, but
yeah,
some like, oh man, I got this coach, or you know how kids can be, especially young
yeah.
men. But the thing is, they need someone to mentor them. They need someone to really coach them, even outside of football, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They need that. So, because you got to think about it, some of these kids are coming from a single parent home. So,
yeah,
guess what's happening? They're looking for like a father figure or something like that. So, they need that mentoring because they could be the best player. Get this, they could be the best player, but their mental is not there.
right.
That can really screw these kids up. So what kind of things do P2P have into place where you could implement it into these young men? Because I'm telling you, it's so many falling by the wayside. And we need programs like you have P2P Academy.
Yeah. So what we do is we talk to them outside of the sport. What I mean by that, we just talk about, you know, how do you feel? What's going on with you? And I say take football out the picture because it's about you and your mental health and make sure you're right. Because if you're mentally right, the sport doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. So we just have like a heart-to-heart conversation to see if they in a good space mentally, physically, because they can have stuff going on at home that can really affect them that nobody knows about because they won't tell nobody unless they're comfortable with you, and stuff like that. But also, I tell my players too, which is if you got sports psychologists on campus, I talk to a sports psychologist, and there's nothing wrong with that because they're there for a reason, and pro guys do it too. So it's not like it's a soft thing to do. Pro guys they do it all the time. Your famous stars talk to sports psychologists because they mentally got to be right in order to um, be at the top of their game, be at the
Yeah.
top of whatever they're trying to achieve. I mean, you got professionals outside of professional sports that talk to sports psychologists because they're CEOs and vice presidents of
Yeah.
companies running $1 billion companies, and they got to figure out, okay, I got to maintain. How do I keep the company going?
Right.
How do I make sure I don't lose my job? So it's just a matter of just like I said, having a heart-to-heart conversation to make sure they're in a good space. And like I said, take them out there arena of sports because sports is sports, and you can fake your way through sports most of the time.
Yeah. It's
You
bigger
know,
than that. I love
but
that
if
you
you,
said that
yeah,
though.
but if you
Yeah.
got like I said, I've had players that've had stuff going on at home that they was worried too much about because a lot of my players come from, like you said, single family households. Some of them are first time college attendees.
Yeah.
You know, mom's situation wasn't good when they left, so they trying to make sure mom's taken care of, or mom and sister. They got siblings that was going through situations.
Yeah.
The culture or the city they came from, neighborhood they came from, was completely a wreck. So they trying to figure out how do I balance it all out and still trying to play ball. And I'm like, look, man, you gotta take care of yourself first, make sure everything's straight, then go to the field. Because if you don't, it's going to show on the field. You're not performing the way you need to perform, and then everybody's going to blame you for not, building your P's and Q's, which is not necessarily true because nobody knows your story.
Right.
Only people I see is they only see the outward part of it. They don't know what's going on internally unless you tell somebody. That's why I tell them, sports psychologist, man, go talk to them. Like I got a daughter in college. She might not want me to tell you this, but she plays soccer and she goes see a sports psychologist.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of just releasing or talking to somebody else different outside of your coaching staff
Yeah.
where they can just let you open up to make you feel better. So when you perform, you perform freely and you go do your thing.
But you know what? It wasn't taught in the homes.
Right.
Now it's the thing now. Put it like
Yeah.
that. It's the
Yeah.
thing now. But that wasn't taught. It's like you basically deal with what happens home stays here. What happens here stays here, basically. But these kids, they need a safe place because guess what? Like you said, if they're coming and something's going on at home, they know that they can't really talk about it. Sometimes can't talk about it at home. So where do they talk about it? How do they let it out? And see, like a program like you have P2P Academy, you have these things where you I just heard you say that basically it's bigger than football.
Yeah.
Like, yes, that's a sport, that's the gift that God gave you, but you have to also know that guess what? You cannot get out there if you're not mentally stable.
Right.
Because take a check. God forbid you get hurt because you're not focused. What happens if a player is out there on the field and he just drift off? Now he's a receiver now, and he just drift off on thinking about something that's going on in his life. Just for a second. It don't take long, but just think about that. So this is why I'm loving that I'm what I'm hearing about the sports psychology. Now sports psychologists, now that they are available to them, not just in college, but in the league as well.
Yeah.
But tell me this, what happens to a walk-on that's not up under scholarship, right? And that need these services? Is that services due to him, or do they have to pay out of pocket?
It depends on. So if you're a walk-on, you're pretty much paying out of pocket. But if you're a walk-on that's cool with the rest of the guys on scholarship, you can bypass it. You can get treated like you on scholarship. But nowadays, because I know, like I said, I got some guys that coach, and I know some coaches. Nowadays, they got sports psychologists, or chaplains or priests available to everybody on the team. It's not just about you on scholarship, you get that service. It's open to everybody because they want to make sure everybody is good, because you need your walk-ons. Don't everybody don't take it personally, but walk-ons usually are your scout team players. So you need them. If you don't have them, now you price against starters and price against starters, and you don't want that to happen because you take an injury, you take a chance of people getting hurt. Now you're losing players on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, whatever days they're playing on college now. So everybody's services, like every service now, is available to everybody. So it's not about cost or anything. It's about if you're on the team, and coaches will tell you, if you're on the team, you're having trouble in class, you're having trouble, outside the field. These services are available for you, especially they know you're on the football team. So
okay, so overall, the whole team, whether you're walk-on, scholarship, everybody have access to these same services, correct?
yeah.
Good to know. Very, very good to know. But again, if the mental is not right, and I don't know why I'm spending so much time here, but
It's
this
important.
is what I'm getting, because this is so, oh my gosh, there's so much is happening around us every day. And our kids have to deal with, especially Black men, have to deal with so much, right? So you have a program like P2P Academy. Tell me, what is that like to be? How do you introduce that to maybe a potential client of yours? How is it that you present that?
So majority of my clientele comes from word of mouth and previous alumni. Because usually what I do with my organization, or what I do with my former players, is, hey, if you got another a teammate of yours, man, and they see what you did and see how you overcame it, hey, send them my way. And one of the jokes around the city is, for me, is I go to a lot of high school football games. So you might see me one week at one high school football game, another week at another high school football game. And so I build relationships that way, because everybody see me at different high school football games. They see me talk to players, because I don't watch games. One of the biggest things with me, I don't watch high school football games in the stands. I'm always watching from the sideline. And everybody wonder why I do that, because I don't like going from the stands, because you can't watch the game, especially if they know you play football. And it's just too much. It's too much havoc. Like, I like watching the game and focus on the game and watching my players play football. And that's pretty much how I do it, because my players that I work with, they'll tell their teammates, and next thing you know, the parents will call me. Hey, I heard you helped such and such. I heard you got such and such. in the school you was doing this. Hey, can you help my kid? And I'm sure. So pretty much mine is like more word of mouth now. I do have advertisements like, you know, websites, and I do stuff on Instagram, but
Mhm.
majority of my clientele, it's coming from word of mouth just because of I believe in testimony. So if my testimony works and somebody's testimonial, of course somebody will ask questions because everybody wants to, figure out how they can be in the same situation that somebody else is in.
Wow. And you said you watched from the sideline. It took me back to, I'm not sure if you know Coach Rodney Salisbury,
That name sound familiar.
one of
It sound-
James Taylor's friends as well.
Okay.
Uh, However, I think he's a high school coach, if I'm not mistaken. He was saying, I don't know, was that him or you? Basically about building relationships with people that's on that sideline.
Yeah.
That was you?
Nah, that was me. That's probably him, but that's what I do though. Like,
Okay. He made something. When he said that, it's like a light bulb went off in my head because if only that was taught to the kids. Because guess what? Everybody's not going to make it to that pro league.
oh,
You understand? So my thing is, if you see someone like you standing on the sideline, okay, how is it that you would tell your player, just put, how is it that you would tell your client basically to interact with someone that's on that sideline? Because he said something about a young man who he taught that to and how it worked for his good. And I was just so blown away by that. So how would you tell your client, if they saw someone standing on the sideline that they thought, maybe was I don't want to say a booster, but someone that's prominent, put it
yeah,
like that, that may can help them after football, you know.
yeah. So what I do is when I stand on the sidelines, it's I guess it's good in my testament. My players will walk up to me. I wish them good luck, and I'll stand to the far bar side because I don't like interacting with the game plan of the high school games and the coaches stuff like that. Because I'm here to be a fan for that day and not a coach because I coach. I coach too. Um, so after the game, the player come up to me and say, "Hey, Los, I got this player I need you to talk to," because the players that they'll send to me are players that they deal with or around 5 days a week, 8 hours a day at a school. So they know they hear their problems. They see what they're going through, and they say, "Hey, I got somebody for you." So after the game, they'll come up to me, we'll talk, and then after the game, I get the information. But then I tell them, "Look, I'll follow you the rest of the season. And when the season's over, we can sit down and have like a real consultation to see how I can help." Along with after the game, they go talk to their parents, and
Yeah.
the kid introduced them to parents, and all of a sudden, just relationship built that way. But it's more like when I go see my players to say something to me, and it just trickles down to somebody that they know need help. Because I don't think everybody, because not everybody is hungry. If you hungry and want it,
Mm.
no matter what it is, I'm gonna talk to you. But if you just like half in and half out, I'm gonna listen to you. But there's different things I listen to when we sit down and talk. Because I know if you're serious or you're not serious, just based on the conversations and how you interact with me. Based on eye contact, um, different ways you answer questions and stuff like that. So I got
Oh,
this.
that
I got
was,
this.
I was going to ask, like, how do you know? But you just answered it.
Yeah,
Wow. So, yeah, well, I guess so. And that's because you done been in the game.
yeah.
You had to
Mhm.
experience that. You had to walk the walk. So now you're able to talk the talk. But what does success look like to you?
Graduation, walking across the stage,
Wow.
college, and high school and college. I go to people's graduations too. I mean, I go to graduations. Um, Again, when they're in college, I stay on top of them. Hey, man, I mean, and I got a conversation with my players. How close you graduate? How many credits you got left? Because I got some guys now that will have a shot in the league, but like I've told them from day one, you're gonna get the degree, man. You're gonna get the degree before you go to league because everybody talking about I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna go back to school. It's hard to go back to school, man. It is. You trying to play ball, and then, some of them do, and some of them like, you know, I don't feel like it because I wasn't a person. I really didn't like school either. My thing is, I knew I had to go to school. I had to get some good grades in order to play ball on Fridays, get a college scholarship. But school wasn't like, you know, something I wanted to do on a regular basis.
Right.
So my thing was, like, I want to make sure I get this degree because my mother was a teacher. My father was big on degrees. So I had to make sure I got my degree before I pursued the NFL and all that stuff. So I tell my guys the same thing, especially nowadays when you can graduate 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So take advantage of it. Go graduate 3.5 years. If you decide you want to go grad school, cool. You want to put yourself in the draft, cool. You want to work in the workforce, fine. But you got a piece of paper because nobody take that from you.
That's it.
And my thing is,
Mm,
you fulfilled your contract, which I mean, it's a contract. You sign a national letter of intent, that's a contract. You got to abide by their rules and laws and everything.
yep.
When you get a diploma, you fulfilled your contract. So next step is up. It's up to you. It's not mandatory. It's voluntary now after that.
Yep. Well, the number one thing for me, what you said, education is number one. That's
Yeah.
something they can never take from you, you
Right.
know. But the thing is, a lot of times where you have people that, they're good and their stock numbers are high. So
Yeah.
what happens is, oh, should I enter the drive? You know, and depending where you're at in your collegiate level, right? In school, right?
Yeah.
You said it. You get in that league, you're gonna make that money. You're not gonna think about going back to school. Some do it because
Yeah.
I can
Don't
say
do
a couple of my son's teammates, they did it, and I
it. Yeah.
was so happy to see them do it. But just think about it. It's just something again that nobody can take from you. That's they're using you for their to play football.
Yeah.
Get them for what you can, your scholarship, especially when you're in these big prestigious schools, and that carries weight when you go out into the business world. Because guess what? Football is what? Not for long. Hate to
Yeah.
say it, but it's the truth. However, some do have longevity though, but you still have to find your why after football. How is P2P Academy helping kids to learn their why? Because I think you have pro athletes as well, right?
Yeah.
So how
Hmm.
do you help these kids and young men? I'm just gonna say young men. How
Hmm.
do you help these young men find their why?
So what I do, and I've done this like the last 2 or 3 years because it wasn't taught to me, but I'm gonna make sure I teach it them. Is I try to get my guys to create another trade, learn something different besides football, learn something different besides basketball, learn something that you do that you love outside of playing your sport, because you can build on that, especially with today's society, social media, whatever. You can build your brand outside of your sport because at the end of the day, like you said, NFL is not for long, and all it takes is one injury for you to I don't force an injury. All it takes is one injury for something to change, right? Dramatically. So what I try to teach my guys is learn how to do something different, do something else. Like I got guys um that cut hair, they cut hair on the side, so they learn the trade. I got guys that learn how to do electricity. I got a player right now who's a starting free safety at a university. Every time he comes home, he go works on a farm because he likes the farm industry. So he go works on the farm. I got guys that in the cooking that like to cook. So they'll go do internships at restaurants and all kinds of stuff. So what I try to do is get them to double up on on careers, because football can be a career, but you also can build another career. So when you have that transition, when football's over, it's not as not as a big of a gap, as far as your transition. So you already got stuff in place that you can just continue to do what you need to do. Because if you're not prepared for it, because I wasn't prepared for it. When I got up playing ball, I was like, man, what am I gonna do? It took me like 30 days to come back down to reality when I retired. Because nobody's ever said, hey, Los, you need to make sure you know, do this trade or create a trade or whatever you need to do. I was like, man, I was just straight ball, straight ball, straight ball, straight ball, straight ball.
Wow.
And when it hit me, I was like, oh man, 30 days. I don't know what am I gonna do. But fortunately, I put myself back on track and
Good.
start doing stuff that I like to do. Again, I try to do the corporate world thing. It just wasn't me, but I mean, it just wasn't. I mean, I was so used to, and I know in college football they tell you when to go, get up, go play, work, I mean, not go work, but go live, go to class, whatever. But it was still some type of freedom. I'd have to really clock in and clock out. I just wasn't that type of person to sit at the desk and I'm not knocking people in the corporate world. No, I
Right.
never do that. That wasn't me. That wasn't again what I really want to do. I had to be. I'm not saying I had to. I want to be around the game of football, and that was just me. So
Well, and you said it. You said that the one injury,
yeah,
one injury, or not just one injury. It could be a player to come in it because we all know that. Well, I don't know how it is college, but in the league, you work for your job every day.
yeah, yeah,
Every single day. So,
yeah.
and I love to tell people that. But it says here, don't close the book when bad things happen in your life. Just turn the page and begin a new chapter, right?
Right. Yeah.
So my thing is, what kind of impact do you want to make as of now on your clients?
I just want to continue to, to tell them the right things and be there for them. Because some of them, they have hard times in college. They have hard times with you know certain situations. So I'm just like, I like to be the ear where they can call me anytime. We can talk, figure it out, so they can go about continue to try to reach their goals and dreams. So pretty much, like I said, I consider myself a mentor on all aspects, and I just want to continue to do that. It's not, I don't see myself as I make an impact, but it's not for me. It's not saying I'm making an impact. I'm just doing what I was, you know, guided to do, and I'm gonna continue to do it, no matter how I'm supposed to do it, and continue that process the way I've been doing it.
That's good. And you say you teach them to dream, right?
Yeah,
So if they dream it, right, and they begin to speak it and believe it,
yeah,
that's I'm big on speaking things to existence,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't ever want to limit a child.
No,
So you want to make sure they can really expand that because they're our future leaders, And yes, we love sports, but don't get me wrong, it's not just about sports because guess what happened? You have to get out there in the real world someday. And you said it that you just basically thought sports, sports, sports. I heard my son say the same thing, and I heard a couple of other players say the same thing. So when you have that big dream, you
mm-hmm.
um what when you have that big dream, some fear set in, right?
Yeah, part
We
of it.
all know that. That's just how it goes. So tell me, what is your biggest fear when it comes to what you're doing now?
My guys not finishing the process because I make my guys write down goals. And every year I make them write down goals, academic goals, athletic goals, personal goals. And when I see them not finish the process because stuff didn't go the way they thought it should, or they got frustrated, that is the conversation, like a hard conversation you have. Because what you're doing is you're prepping yourself for life down the road. Because if you decide to quit, not finish, not just athletic wise, it's gonna carry over to the real world too, and it's gonna carry over to not just the real world. It's gonna carry to when you have a family, you marry your kids, and you gotta teach your kids. You can't teach your kids not to quit if you did it yourself. That's just me. You can't teach your kids not to work hard unless you work hard. Because the kids follow what you did. The kids listen to what you do. The kids instill the the goals or the good habits that you instill in them.
Right.
But you got to practice what you preach, though, and that's the thing that it makes me mad. It makes me mad because like I said, we'll sit down and write down goals, and someone will come up short. But I say, okay, you came up short, but how you going? How can you fix it? Because there's a
Mm,
reason that you came up short. So figure out why you came up short and go fix it and correct it. It's just like playing in the sports. You're not gonna make every perfect play, and every
right.
play is not gonna be right. But how do you go back and correct that play and fix that play? Well, someone will go back and watch film. Someone will go talk to the coach. Someone will watch the film and with the coach, and y'all watch it together. But everything is always correctable and fixable. You just got to figure out how to fix it. And I'm
Mm,
not saying I tell my guys too, you're not gonna reach every goal because I tell them look, write down 5 goals. You might not reach it every week. You might not
right.
reach one, but you accomplished something though. You didn't accomplish nothing. So long as you accomplish 1 out of 5, that's a starting point. You got to start somewhere. You're not always going to go to the top. I mean, if you go to the top and get all 5 first week, cool. Start another 5. But always try to accomplish something, because if you start accomplishing something, now you're a creature of habit. Now you're like, okay, I can figure this out. I'm not going to let this hold me down. I'm not going to let this make me go sideways. I'm always going to, so.
Man, that is awesome. That is because you give them room to fail.
Yeah, you got to fail.
Learn from, their failure.
Yeah.
But guys, you know what? We're live here tonight with the girl Erica Wilson, and it had to happen for our Winning Wednesday, and we're here for Perform to Perfection Part 2. Carlos came back for a second time, but Carlos, go ahead and show off what you're wearing right now. Carlos is repping. Y'all see it? It had to happen.
Yeah, appreciate the love on the shirt. Yeah, always represent, show support to people, show support to me. So I do it all the time. I like wearing, t-shirts and sweatshirts and whatever. I mean, it's just me.
All right. He's a walking billboard, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. And then one thing I saw him on last show, right? You had on, what was it? Coaches? What was it? Black coaches?
But Black coaches change lives.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to have to give you a shirt. I'm going to have to send you a shirt. And I said it, and he have it on tonight. That says a lot. And you don't know how much that means to me. Thank you so, so very much for this. But also coming back as being a two-timer here, because this is a program that I'm praying that it could get out to the masses. Because what's happening is, again, our kids are our future leaders. And with so much is happening, we need people like you, like Coach Ryan, like Coach Rodney, all the people that's out there that's having these type of programs to help these young men. Because guess what? These young men need to be set up the next 40, 50 years of their lives. Yep. And although you're wearing so many hats, guess what? You're still a husband. You're still a father, and you have a daughter that's in college that's playing sports. Where do you find the time? Can you speak to someone just feel like they don't have enough time in a day?
So, this to me, it's fun. It is. Like I said, I get a chance to still be around my game that I've been playing since I was 5 years old. I get a chance to watch my daughter fulfill her dream of playing college soccer. So me and my wife just make it work. My wife I gotta give my wife props, because she give me a lot of rope to do what I want, to do a lot of stuff I do, because she knows that I'm passionate about my players. Of course, I'm passionate about my daughter. So we, just make the schedule work the best we can to make sure we can be available for everybody. Because she's with me with my P2P company too, because she's the one to help the kids get scholarships that don't get full scholarships. So she's the one helping out, trying to get them outside scholarships so they can go to school for free. Because she don't want, and she's a social worker, so she works in the school. So she sees it more than I do, because she's with them kids all day, every day. And she's one of them that she's hard as, I gotta make sure I can help this kid as much as possible, because I don't want this kid continue down the same path they're going. So when we make it work, my kids understand it. My kids, so it's kind of funny. Both my daughters, both are 9. My youngest was already in college. She started college last week, and they had a football game last week. First week of college football season, and she was like, "I'm going to the game," which I knew she was going. And she sat in the student section, and she calls home after the game, talking about, "I can't sit in the student section no more. They too much socializing the party. I gotta watch the game." And I told her. So then my middle daughter, she's in Syracuse. She went to the football game, and she sends me a text message, "Man, we got working on run defense." What you? So, hey.
Oh my God! But I'm feeling your first daughter. Listen, when I'm there, I don't want you talking to. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, she's big on that. So she'll tell you she understands. She understands the game. Like, she understands coverages. Yeah. Wide receiver ran the wrong route. She knows all this stuff. Both my daughters do that. Matter of fact,
Wait a minute.
all three of my daughters know that. So
Why you had to say the wide receiver running the wrong way? You know I'm crazy
she
about
know.
that.
She know. Hey, she tell you, hey, why you went the wrong route? Or why you went the route that way? Knowing the
Wow.
DB did this. I mean, she tell you. She.
Well, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
truth. In the student section, they party,
yeah,
you know. But the thing is, if you're focused, look, I think she get it from you, you know. But at the end of the day, like that's how I am. Do not talk to me, especially when my son is on the field. Do not talk to me. I'm
yeah,
locked and I'm loaded, okay? But hey, it's such a great sport, though. Like, I mean, all sports. I think sports just bring families together.
yeah.
And you
Okay.
gain so many, I'll say associates, or some friends, you know.
Mhm.
However, it's just a big, huge family. But when you have someone that have a program like yourself, how are you trying to get these into colleges or high schools? Like, what are you doing with P2 P Academy?
I'm not really trying to get into colleges. I mean, I do some stuff with high schools, but I like the independence I have now because I can control the narrative a little bit better. Because if you deal with some high schools, they got like certain rules and regulations that you got to abide by, and some for me sometimes it's not enough. Um, so like I said, I do a little bit with high schools because I got some friends that coach high school football, and they let me get away with some stuff that no people can get away with. But to actually be in some school districts, you know, I just I never had the will and want to do that. I just like being independent when I do. Now colleges is, I mean, I know people. I got friends that do stuff in colleges, but that's never been my passion to do that because
Right.
once I get to, my goal is to get you to college.
Well, that's the thing. It's who you know. You got to
Yeah,
know somebody to know somebody that
yeah. I
knows
know. I mean,
somebody.
I know plenty of coaches in college. I know plenty of them coaches. But I never approach them like, hey man, let me try my program. Nah, because I just know how hard it is, and I just know that you gotta let your players. I'm around my players enough during high school and middle school. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to let them grow up in college. They don't want to see me on college campus too. Now they'll call me and we'll talk about it, but I don't.
Yeah.
That's just me. I mean, that's just my
Well,
my personality.
well, that's a good thing. I do want to shout out your wife, Mrs. Collins. Shouts out to you for holding your husband down and believing in what he's doing and helping him with it. And her job, oh my God, being a social worker, oh my God. All I can do is say I'll send prayers for her because that is a hard
Yeah, that's
feel.
all. Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard. And my heart was just so troubled today. I almost said, let's do the show another day, but I was like, no, I got to go ahead and do it. We had a shooting here at a high school, and it's just so sad that you send your kids off to school or you go to work
hmm
and never knowing if you're going to return. So when I left from downstairs, it was 4 dead at the time and 9, I think, injured at the time. However, I just don't understand what kind of programs that they have in place. Because if you get a call at 8:30 saying that your school is going to be the first school to get shot up, do we not take these things serious? Because the shooting didn't happen till 9:30, but the call they say came in at 8:30. So I'm sure in her field, what will she have to do? Go in and try to console some of these kids.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
hard.
yeah. She does. I hear some of the stories that she tells because a lot of them they debrief. Like I hear on the phone call talking to another counselor or another social worker, and just pretty much they debrief about what happened at this school today, what happened at this school today, what happened with this kid, such and such. And to me, it's draining. It's like I go in the building, I show up at the school building one time, and I can feel the energy just drop when I walk in the building, just because I've heard and I've seen it too. Um, like some of the stories that goes on and how the kids act. And, we talking about middle school, and hey, it's ridiculous. But again, like you said before, you just got to pray every day that
Yeah.
everything goes. Your kid leaves and your kid comes home. Just because you don't know, you never know what's going to happen. And then with them, I mean, they have a certain system where who gets into school, who doesn't get into school, but it's always ways around it. That the
Mm,
people, it's always loopholes somewhere. So
jeez.
it's always sad because
Yeah. It's, I'm telling you, it's just sad all the way around the board because it was another teacher that got her eye socket knocked out of
hey,
place. A student, yeah, yeah. She had to have surgery, so now she can't really see, out of that eye too good. And it's just, again, like the mental issues that we were talking about earlier. Some is not open to it, some is not introduced to it, but you have programs like P2P Academy. Tell us how one can get in contact with you.
So you can follow me on Instagram at P2P Sports, P the number 2 P Sports, or you can follow me on Twitter, P as in Paul, the letter T, P underscore sports. You can email me p2pprep@gmail.com. And I got all kinds of stuff. So it's just a matter of how you want to communicate with me. Most of the time, a lot of people hit me up on Instagram. That's pretty much because usually when it comes to Twitter, I post stuff on Twitter as far as information that we're doing. A lot of my stuff I do Instagram because I know it's for kids is almost 9 or 10, 11, 12 hours a day. So that's, they are. So that's pretty much how people usually get contact me just through my Instagram page.
Awesome. Guys, you heard it here, P2P Sports on IG. That's why I put it up because I see that's where you have a lot of your engagement at. However, guys, P2P, the number 2P Sports I'm sorry, on IG. Also, if you had a kid that was outside of your area, do you
Mhm.
take them as well?
Yeah. I've had kids back home because, like I said, I'm from Ohio, and I've had, my brother's friends, kids, guys I coached with, when I went to high school with, are non-coaches. They reach out to me. So, I talk to any and every parent or family that needs assistance when it comes to the business of sports. Per Miss James out of Cleveland. Uh,
Yes.
you can reach
Shout
out to me.
out.
Yeah, you can reach out to me. We can have a discussion, consultation. We can talk about it because everybody needs help.
Yeah.
Nobody understands the full gamut of how college sports works unless you actually do it on a daily basis, which is what I do, and I stay on track with it because I've had former teammates of mine who play football at the highest level call me about call about college stuff, college recruiting because they're not embedded into that system because everybody knows this college sports right now is a whirlwind. It's all over the place. So if
Yeah.
you so if you don't understand it, or you're not embedded in it, man, you can get washed up in it.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Well, we're right here at the close of our segment. I really enjoy you having you. I can't wait for you, James Santa, and I to get on first. And we go ahead and we talk about sports. Again, I'm such a sports girl. I love it. Well, football girl, because I don't
mhm.
know too much about basketball and all of that. But again, I can't wait till we get with Miss James Santa and the things that I'm talking about beautiful soul that has and just freely gives.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We have a lot of gatekeepers on this side, but she just, her information is very valuable. And I'm sure that God is truly, truly going to bless her. And especially, the call that we was on, I'm just trusting God to move for her in that area because it's needed. It's needed so very badly. So if you had a mother or a father, or maybe even a college athlete that maybe was under the sound of your voice, go ahead and send them out some words of encouragement.
I would say with the way that sports is going right now, um, you have to be all the way in it. You can't be halfway in, halfway out. Because depending what your goals are, depending what your dreams are, you gotta give it your all. And one of my quotes I tell everybody, including my players, is if you want to do this, if you want to play in a game of sports, no matter football, basketball, soccer, whatever, you got to invest in yourself. You got to. You got to invest in yourself more than any and everything when it comes to, you know, eating, training, learning, watching film, getting your academics together. You got to do stuff above and beyond that's going to put you above the pedestal of everybody else in order to get where you're trying to get to. Because college sports is a corrupt business. It is. It's a dirty business, and you got to figure out a way not to get ate up in that business. So, like I said, for anybody trying to do anything or participate in college sports or whatever, you got to, I guess, invest in yourself. Always believe in yourself and never doubt yourself. That's three of my phases I have on three of my t-shirts. Invest in yourself, invest in myself, never doubt myself, and 100% believe in myself.
Wow, you heard it here. It had to happen. Show that shirt one more time, Carlos. Coach Carlos, y'all see him representing. Thank you so much again. You know, you're more than welcome to come back at any time. I can't wait to have like a panelist of you guys here. But just know that this is an open door policy. You have the link anytime you want to come back to book. We would love to have you back because this is something, again, that's needed. And I love that we could get up here and we could be very transparent and very open. And you said something, if you guys missed it, what you said that stood out to me was when you said about you didn't know then, but you can see it now.
Yep.
Somebody needs to hear that. Somebody needs to hear that because we don't always see our future. You know, we see what, you know, what's the now. You know, we see the now, but we don't see the future. So we have to trust that God has something great for us in the future. But
Yep.
that's why he's using you now to pour back into these young men. Wait, is it just young men that you are your clients? Because you know you got some women's sports too now.
Yeah, but I mean, I got a few women,
Uh-huh.
females because of my daughters, but the majority of my clientele is young men, and I did it for a reason because we're
Got
the ones that uh, needed more and maturity wise than the women. So that's why I pretty much stay on that side of the fence.
Okay, well, guys, you heard it here. This is Carlos Collins. You can follow him on social media, IG preferably, because that's where I see you doing a lot of your work and your engagement. So tell us again.
P2P Sports, P2P, the number 2 Sports. So hit me
All
up
right.
on IG. I'll respond.
Definitely he will. Again, thank you so much. Shouts out to you, James Setter, Cleveland Sports from you. Thank you so very much. I truly appreciate you all. I mean, yeah, I really appreciate you and you all for tuning in here with us on tonight. Listen, tomorrow I have a young lady. The name of the segment is A Beauty So Rare. She had a rare bacteria infection that ate up her jaw and her cheek. She will be here on tomorrow to share her story. Come and show her some love. She's very excited about her segment. So please do come back over at tomorrow at 6 p.m. because this is something that we might all need to listen to because she did land up she was in a hospital, in a coma, for 11 days. 11 days. And when she came about that coma, her jaw was like, oh, yeah. But her beauty is rare because it's not always what's on the outside, it's what's in the inside. So please do come and show this young lady some love tomorrow at 6 p.m. We'll love if you could come. And if you would like to book, you definitely could go to my website at www.ericawilsonIH2H.com. Carlos, y'all not coming to Jacksonville for the event?
I'm trying to make it work. I'm trying to. I gotta try to make some stuff. I gotta try to say some stuff. I'm
Well,
trying.
shake it and move it because it's gonna be good, and we have to close out on Friday.
Yeah,
Friday.
I know. But Cleveland lets me know every week. She lets me know. So
Shout out to you, James Setter. So God bless each and every one of you. We do not like leaving this broadcast. We're sending out some virtual hugs, guys, and some virtual love. Let me see if I get my hearts. Yeah, we love you guys here at It Had to Happen. Again, guys, finish this week strong. Pour into someone this week. I don't care if it's word, thought, or deed. Pour into someone. You know, we all need it. I don't care if it's a simple hello. We all need it. Definitely check on the strong ones because they tend to get forgotten about because guess what? We always think that they're strong. So God bless each and every one of you. Until next time guys. Bye-bye. Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you.